Tokyo Game Show was early this morning, the Xbox presentation at Tokyo Game Show, rather. And I have to say, I think this is Xbox's best showing yet. I think this is their biggest showing yet. And there's a couple things that were revealed here. Phil Spencer talked about the success that Xbox has had in Asia. Then we got to the game. Sarah Bond was on stage and talked about over 1,300 games are currently in development that will be coming to Xbox. That doesn't mean they're exclusive to Xbox by any means, but that they will be coming to Xbox, being created in Asia. Absolutely huge. It feels like Xbox is starting to hit its stride in Asia. It feels like momentum is at their back. It feels like the wind is at their back and they're starting to push forward here. Again, I cannot say enough positive things here. I think this obliterated last year's appearance at the Tokyo Game Show. I think this was their best appearance. So let's go over that today. Before we jump into it and discuss it all, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time right here, so like, subscribe. Also, come join our Discord. We've got a community Discord. I will pin that in the comments. But let's jump into it. So first of all, Phil Spencer's opening. You can see it right here. I have this video on loop. This was the opening. The entire game show, Xbox Game Show conference, was about 45 minutes long, and it starts with Phil Spencer kind of laying out what is coming in the next year. And here's where I think you really start to see momentum. He talked about next week, Shattered Space is coming. And he said to Japan, it is fully localized. That means that the UI is in Japanese, the voice acting is in Japanese, the whole shot. He then went on to October, in which we're getting Vessel of Hatred from Diablo 4. And we're also getting Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on October 25th. Absolutely huge. That's a huge 2 months in a row. Then in November, he said we're getting Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And he said we have a lot of players here in Asia, in Japan, who like that game, who play that game, and it's going to be huge. So there's another big release. Then in December, Indiana Jones. And again, he said this is localized to Japan, voice acting, UI, the whole shot. So that's just to round out this year. Look at that, month after month. We've got big hitter releases here coming. Then in 2025, he said he reviewed Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom of Dark Ages, and more, with a surprise drop of November 5th, Starfield Remastered. That's right, Starfield Remastered and StarCraft 2 are coming to Game Pass for PC. And you can see it's all starting to come together. Again, I think this destroyed last year's Tokyo Game Show. Just that opening statement really lays it out, and you're like, whoa. You can see, though, the Activision Blizzard acquisition with StarCraft coming to. StarCraft is huge in Asia, everybody, in case you didn't know that. You may be like, oh, StarCraft, that's no big deal. That's an old game. I don't play that game. StarCraft is absolutely huge in Asia, and the competitive scene for StarCraft is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. They fill arenas for that game, particularly in Korea, or South Korea, rather. But that coming to Game Pass, I think, is a big deal. I think StarCraft has been, support has been removed from StarCraft. It seemed like that was going away. Blizzard has announced that. I think we're going to see it come back. I think we're going to get another iteration of StarCraft, which I'm absolutely excited for. And I just noticed in my notes, I actually typed Starfield instead of StarCraft. Too many Star games here. That's not to mention then what we got in games that are Asian-based there. We got this Paperboy type game called Tank Pond's Summer that is coming to Game Pass. Looked really interesting. You ride your bike around as a little kid and you deliver post to people. We then got Wii Katamari, which is like this roll game. It looks like you're like rolling up stuff everywhere. That's coming to Game Pass as well. We then got, there's a bunch of Asian or Japanese rather developed games that were shown there, from Bleach Rebirth of Souls to Metaphor de Fantasio. Those are not specific to Game Pass necessarily. But then to Game Pass, playable today, is Trials of Mana and Legend of Mana from Square Enix. That Square Enix relationship is big there. The Final Fantasy rumors, it's turned out to be kind of true in that Final Fantasy Pixels is announced. It is on Xbox now. And there's another one, All You Need Is Help. That's the one. All You Need Is Help. It's like this Asian Mario Party game. It looks really interesting. It dropped on Game Pass today. So a lot in there for us as gamers, a lot in there for Game Pass subscribers coming from the Tokyo Game Show. Overall, like I said, I think it proves that Xbox is serious about Asia. I think it proves that Xbox is, what's the word? Gaining momentum there. It really does. And to that note, let's actually, I don't know if I have it pulled up correctly, but let's actually do this. Here we go. This is purexbox.com. At the beginning of the conference, Phil Spencer says that 2024 is Xbox's best year in Asia across all devices. Let me actually fix the format. There we go. Again, huge. Let's see what he actually said. The good news is that Xbox is doing the best it ever has in Japan and Asia. Yep, Phil says that more people have played Xbox this year in Asia than any other year prior, which shows some nice progression over there for Team Green. They say, we're continuing to see growth in the region. This year, more people are playing with Xbox across all devices in Asia than ever before. And we've seen the largest number of Xbox console players in the region to date. The largest number of Xbox console players in the region to date. So, there you go. That's, I think that's only positive. That to me, again, goes back to this idea that, or just underscores, they are starting to gain momentum there. The hard work is starting to pay off. Game Pass is the future. Game Pass subscription is the future. All of these purchases of studios that they've made over the past 3-4 years starting to come to fruition with the lineups that we're seeing there. We're starting to get... This feels like the 360 era in that there was a lot of JRPGs on the 360. The Xbox One had almost none. Look at all the JRPGs shown off today. In fact, the most of what was on today's showcase was JRPGs, with a couple coming to Game Pass, like Trials of Mana, like Legends of Mana. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster coming to the Xbox that you can pick up today as well to buy. All You Need Is Help. It's not a JRPG. Again, it's a party type game. Looks very, very cool. And then the other one, Wikatari and Paperboy type game coming to Game Pass. All Japanese developed games, all coming to Game Pass, including, and then on top of that, you've got StarCraft remastered, and StarCraft 2, not to mention all the other big titles that we just talked about. It's absolutely huge. I think we are at the beginning of the Xbox domination generation. I think that's undeniable at this point. I would love to actually hear if you disagree with me there. It's all about momentum. Momentum is going to be hard to stop here. It's going to be hard to counter just the amount of first-party IPs that Xbox now owns. You combine that with the power of Game Pass, how easy that is to sell to people, the value proposition that's there. I think it's absolutely going to be huge. I wrote down 3 questions here that I thought we should go over. First question, do you think Xbox pushing Asia will help them overtake PlayStation in the region, or is this still a long way off? I think it's a long way off, but here's the thing. We live in a day and age where a news cycle is 24 hours, essentially. Like stuff that used to be covered for months, like let's say an earthquake happens, that would be covered for a month. Like, man, look how big this earthquake was. Look how crazy this thing that happened. Now that gets covered for 24 hours and then everybody moves on. So things happen at a much faster pace. The issue that I think you're going to have in competing with a Game Pass, honestly, and in competing in a system. So for instance, Sarah Bond, when she came on stage, she showed off, or she highlighted Amazon Fire Stick. That's a specific strategy there. There's a specific reason you do that. And I think that the way that they consume games in Japan and in Asia is much more mobile first, is much less console centric. And an Amazon Fire TV Stick only helps you in that regards. And I think Game Pass and cloud gaming is how they're going to dominate Asia eventually. That's right. I think eventually they will dominate Asia. I think that they will take that crown from PlayStation. Do you want me to put a prediction on this? I say within the next 10 years. That's right. What? In the next 10 years. I think when this thing gets started to roll, and we're just at the beginning of this momentum rolling down the hill, it's going to happen fast. Things happen faster when you have a subscription-based model for your gaming. All you got to do is go sign up and you've got it. You don't got to go pick up hardware. You don't got to go wait for manufacturing to be done. You just sign up and go. And I think that's coming, and I think we're really close to that, everybody. It's going to be interesting to see what PlayStation does. PlayStation may counter, but I do think that Xbox is going to make its stronger play. Maybe they won't dominate in play in Asia, but they're going to make the strongest push in Asia that I think we've ever seen them make. Question number 2, with Square Enix now supporting Xbox heavily, which other Japanese developers do you want to see partner with Xbox? I think Konami would be big. I think Konami has a lot of titles there. We did see a couple, like Suikoden HD Remastered is coming in March to Xbox, and that's an OG Konami title there. So I think Konami would be big, obviously. We already know Sega has a close relationship with Xbox. However, the latest Sonic is not showing up on Xbox, so I would like to see that as well. And then Capcom already seems to have a pretty close relationship. A lot of Capcom games are on the Xbox and on Game Pass at the moment. So I think Xbox has done a pretty good job. There's not too many out there. I'm sure there's a lot of little studios that I'm unaware of, specific studios, but I think as far as publishers, I think Konami would be absolutely huge, obviously. Last but not least, how important is Xbox Game Pass in shaping the future of gaming, and can it win over fans in markets dominated by other consoles? Yeah, that's kind of back to our first question there. I absolutely think it's very important in shaping the future of gaming. I think that's the only reason I say that I believe that Xbox is we're at the beginning of the Xbox domination generation, is because of Game Pass, is because of its ease of access, is because of its value proposition. And the technology for cloud gaming is right there. We're ready. We're ready to jump in and play it and take advantage of it, and do so on a plethora of devices, including handheld gaming. And maybe handheld gaming, the reason that PlayStation and Xbox are jumping into handheld gaming is because Nintendo dominates that market, and they dominate it in Asia, and that's how the Asian market consumes gaming more on a handheld basis than on a console predominant basis, and they both want into that. I think Game Pass is everything here. They've clearly went all in, Xbox, and I think it's the correct decision. Some of you I know don't agree with that. I think it's 1,000% the correct decision, and I think it represents the future of gaming, absolutely. That does us for today. All in all, if you haven't watched the Xbox in its full, the Tokyo Game Show Xbox presentation, go watch it. A lot of really cool games there. A lot of JRPGs. If you're a big JRPG fan, you're going to be very happy about that. This was definitely a huge improvement over last year. A lot more this year, a lot more Japanese games shown, a lot more games coming to Game Pass, and it does feel like Xbox has momentum and is starting to pick up traction and momentum in Japan and in Asia. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys, if you like this video, and let me know what you think in the comments. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? I made some pretty big statements there. Like, I do think Xbox can win Japan from PlayStation. I do. And I think it's going to be on the back of Game Pass. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.